Why should anyone give up smoking?
Well, they should give it up if they enjoy life. If they don't enjoy life, well, they'll carry on smoking. But if you enjoy life, cigarette smoking is just damn foolish because it doubles the total mortality. That's just from middle and old age. That's to say, it's as dangerous as all other hazards put together. Which seems impossible if you put it in those terms, but it is the actual fact.
What are your reflections on how smoking patterns and attitudes have changed, particularly among women?
Of course, one of the interesting things has been sociologically the spread from men to women. In some countries, in Europe, in France and Spain, for example, it was just not the thing for women to do. And they've only been smoking very recently, and their mortality from lung cancer, which par excellence is caused by smoking, was that of the non-smoker up until very recently. So we've had this interesting change. It's one of the unfortunate effects of the very proper desire of women to be treated equally with men. But if they smoke like men, they'll die like men.
What are the dangers for recreational smokers?
The problem there, one of the problems there, at any rate, is that they may become addicted without recognising it. They may say, oh, well, it's just for a few years, I'll give up. And one of the, I have to admit, hazards of telling people that if they give up after having smoked for 10, 15 years, for the age of 30, they really haven't done much damage, is that they may say, oh, well, then it's all right, I'll go on smoking for another 5 years. But a proportion of those people will, in the course of those 5 years, become really heavily addicted. And giving up smoking, if you're really addicted to nicotine, is extremely difficult.
How soon after giving up smoking will the effect be noticed?
The effect starts from really the moment you start. That is, from the moment you stop smoking. That is, if you're giving up smoking voluntarily. Of course, if you give up smoking because you've got disease, then it won't prevent the disease. If you already got one of the conditions that you've got bad heart and you stop smoking just because you've had a heart attack, it's not going to be beneficial immediately because you've got the risk of the disease for which you gave up smoking.
Cynics have suggested that it's in government's financial interest not to keep ageing populations alive for longer.
I know it's true. We had an interdepartmental committee in this country several decades ago which looked into the costs and benefits to government of the increasing or decreasing tobacco consumption, and this interdepartmental government committee in this country advised the government that it was financially to their disadvantage to discourage people from smoking for the very reason that you've said, that it killed them off as they approached old age and saved the government from having to pay pensions.
What would you do to prevent smoking, especially among young people?
I certainly would not concentrate on trying to prevent the teenager from starting, because that's the one thing that will make him start. What I would concentrate on is getting the young smoker to stop, so that it ceases to be the sign of being an adult, so that the people that the young people look up to are not smoking.
Turning to what can be done to target smoking globally, what are your views on the tobacco industry?
I didn't particularly object to the reaction of the tobacco industry when it was first found that smoking was harmful, because it was difficult for them to believe it, and they were doing their job thinking it was a perfectly honourable and reasonable job to do. But there's nobody involved with the tobacco industry now that doesn't know that they are selling killing things. And to go promoting and encouraging people to smoke, as they're doing throughout the developing world, knowing that this is going to greatly increase the mortality rates of adults, is, I think, a thoroughly immoral and unacceptable action and behaviour.